Hey Redders of the internet! Today I'll give you 3 creepy stories relating to strawberries. Yes, you heard that right, strawberries. Get a warm beverage and relax. Let's begin. The first one is called The Poisoned Strawberry Drink. Back when I was attending Rosedale High School, I was in 11th grade when the Valentine's Day ball took place. I, of course, went with my boyfriend and a couple of my friends. I will call them James, Katie, and Sadie for the story. We entered the party and started to dance to the music the DJ was playing. As you can guess, it was a bunch of romantic and classic party songs. My boyfriend, James, twirled me around and all 4 of us danced in a circle. A bit later, we got hungry and decided to look at the food out on the tables. They served things like heart-shaped sugar cookies, red ginger ale pop, sloppy joes, popcorn in bags, chocolate hearts, and a special strawberry punch. I took everything but the strawberry drink. James said to me, "You're not going to try this? Come on, this drink has a lot of sugar and flavor. You'll like it." I said back, "No thank you, I hate strawberries, remember?" He shrugged. "Suit yourself." While everyone else poured the drink in their cups, I went out to the washroom. I breathed a sigh of relief as I was grateful to be out of the crowd. I did my business and then went back to the party. It was a pretty normal night until the end. I was dancing with my boyfriend and friends until I saw each of them suddenly collapse in front of me. I dropped to my knees and shook their arms. "James, Katie, Sadie, are you okay?" But when I looked in, they were unresponsive and didn't move an inch. Then I heard everyone else around me dropping to the ground. I took out my phone and called an ambulance. Soon the paramedics arrived and they took a whopping 200 students to the hospital. Then the police asked me what had happened, and I told them about people falling out of nowhere. I mentioned how before I left my friends, we were getting food from the tables, including that disgusting strawberry drink. After that, he told me to go home. I went home and couldn't sleep. I was worried about what had happened to everyone and why there were some that didn't fall. I hoped my boyfriend and friends would be alright. Needless to say, I remained awake throughout the night. When I went to eat breakfast the next morning, I saw on the news that all 200 students had died due to poison from the strawberry drink. I dropped the bowl I was holding. It smashed on the ground. I listened to the news with disbelief. Apparently, one of the teachers had poisoned it because he was sick of all the students' attitude. But he had only meant to put a little poison to teach a lesson. The teacher was arrested with murder to never be seen again. Still, to this day, I wonder how that could have been the death of me if I had liked strawberries. This next story is called The Strawberry Shortcake Doll That Took My Daughter Away. My 6-year-old daughter, Susie, was obsessed with the strawberry shortcake show that aired every morning at breakfast time. She would laugh so happily as she ate out of the strawberry shortcake bowl and spoon. Her whole room was decorated with strawberry shortcake blankets, pillows, and posters. But one thing she didn't have was a doll. I decided that since her 7th birthday was coming up, I would buy her a life-size strawberry shortcake doll. To Amazon I went and found a listing that was perfect. Without hesitation, I purchased it and waited for its arrival. It arrived the day before her birthday, so I wrapped it in decorative paper and slapped a bow onto it. The next day, Susie tore the giant box open to reveal a huge strawberry shortcake doll. She said, "Thank you so much, Daddy. I love it." She took Mrs. Shortcake out of the packaging and she hugged it tightly. I was happy to see Susie enjoy it, and days after she would bring it everywhere with her. But when she went to bed, I told her she had to leave it in the closet. In the middle of the night, I awoke to hear Susie screaming. I rushed into her bedroom to find she was hiding in her blankets and pointed at the closet. I went up to her and asked, "Are you okay, sweetie?" She said, "She moved!" I looked over to see the strawberry shortcake doll lying on the ground as if it fell out of the closet. I said to her, "Don't worry, sweetie, she just fell over, that's all." Susie calmed down, and then I put her back to bed. The next morning, when I was going to wake her up, I noticed the doll on the other side of the room away from the closet. I assumed she must have played with it during the night. At breakfast, Susie said, "Daddy, Strawberry Shortcake was being mean to me last night." I replied, "Oh, how was she being mean?" "She told me she was going to steal me away from you because only she could be my friend." I just laughed it off. "Well, tell Strawberry Shortcake that you deserve other friends as well." "I will tonight, Daddy." I ate my breakfast as I watched Strawberry Shortcake with my child. Later that night, I put my child to bed as usual and then put the Strawberry Shortcake doll in the closet. Later that night, I woke up to go to the bathroom. It was just past my daughter's room, and that's when I heard talking. Susie said, "Really? You want to take me there one day, Shortcake? I would love to go to that place with you. But I don't want to leave my daddy here all alone." I stopped and listened into the room. I didn't hear a voice back, but Susie spoke. "Of course I want to be your friend." She paused and then said, "Maybe for one day I'll go." I checked my watch and saw it was after 3 in the morning. I knocked on the door and opened it to see the Strawberry Shortcake doll out of the closet near her bed. Susie was there wide awake. I said, "Sweetie, it's too late for you to be playing with your doll. Go back to sleep." "But she woke me up," Susie said. I rubbed my face and then said, "Strawberry Shortcake, do not wake Susie up from bed. Now go to sleep." I shut the door and went to bed. The next morning, when I went to go get my daughter, I noticed that the window was open. I yawned and then went to shut it. But when I turned to look at the bed, I stumbled back. In place of my daughter was a doll that looked like her. I picked the doll up and saw a note on the back. It said, "Thanks for Susie. She'll have a fun time in Dollland." And that's how that story ends. This last story is called The Magical Strawberry Lipstick. When I was in high school, I hung around with a lot of popular kids. We were in about grade 12 when everyone started to get a boyfriend. But I was the only one in my friend group without one. That was because most boys didn't like girls who were like me, who were shy, introverted, and awkward. Every time I spoke to one, I would blurt out something weird. Not to mention, most of the boys I met were a bunch of creeps who wanted sex all the time. I didn't really do that kind of stuff, but still, I was getting lonely and all of my friends were nagging me to get one. I tried dating apps, but still had no luck, as I wasn't, quote-unquote, pretty enough. Though I did have a crush on a guy in my class named Ryan, but he never noticed me because I was too shy to go up to him. I really wanted a boyfriend because prom was coming up. One day after school, I went to this forbidden forest we have in my small town. I sat by the river and relaxed. I took out my sketchbook and started drawing the trees on the other side. That's when I noticed a lipstick bottle near the river bend. It was strange because there was usually not any human junk around. I set my sketchbook down and then went to pick it up. I saw it was pink with a strawberry design on it. It looked to be dirty thanks to the forest. I brushed some of the dirt off and opened it. It was red and smelled like strawberries. The lipstick seemed to be clean despite it being abandoned by someone. I put it in my pocket and went home. The next day at school, I decided to wear it. Every hall I went down had boys looking at me with loving, hypnotizing eyes. Some of their girlfriends slapped them or turned their heads to face them. Well, that was weird, I thought. When I was at my locker, I saw a bunch of boys giving me gifts and crowding around me. They were saying things like, "A gift for a beautiful woman. You look hungry. Here are some cookies. Want to go out with me?" Two of them started to fight with each other. "No, she'll go out with me. No, it's me she'll go out with. Wanna fight? Yeah, let's fight." I had to intervene. Hey, I'll go out with the both of you," I said without thinking. Then all the boys said, "No, she'll go out with me." "I'll go out with all of you. Just leave me to go to class," I said. I would soon regret this decision. I thought to myself that it was weird that all these people suddenly came up to me giving me gifts, food, and whatever. The fries were great, though. I went to the washroom to wash my face and the lipstick came off. When I went out next, I noticed the boys didn't have the same behavior. They were ignoring me like they always do. I had to test it out. So I went back into the bathroom to put the lipstick back on. Sure enough, when I came back, everyone was practically all over me. I ran to the bathroom to take it off. I thought for a second that this was perfect. I could use this to get a boyfriend like all my friends. But who to pick? Then I remembered Ryan from my class. So the next day, Ryan was packing up his things after class. I put on my lipstick and went up to him. I said, "Hey Ryan, wanna go to the dance with me?" He looked up at me and smiled. "Of course I do. You know I always liked you." I winked. Sweet, pick me up at my house at 5. He agreed, and then I walked away all proud. That night, I got ready in my beautiful prom outfit, and then I got a text from him telling me to come outside. I did what he told me, and then we got in the car his friend Joe was driving. Ryan said, "Joe here will drive us." I smile and we kiss on the lips. Joe muttered to himself, and then a little down the road, he started to drive fast. I asked, "Why are we going so fast?" Suddenly, Joe turned and threw us into a fence. We flew over the hill and then started to roll down. Me and Ryan screamed as it happened. The car crashed into the deep, dark forest. I looked over to my left to see Ryan with his head hanging by the side. He had blood all over it and had lifeless eyes. I screamed, and then Joe pushed the car upright. He opened the door and dragged me out. I asked, "What happened? Why did you throw us off the cliff?" He smiled creepily. "Because Ryan isn't good for you. I want you all to myself." Before I could say anything, I was already being dragged to God knows where. Then I realized he was one of the boys that tried to ask me out. I tried to scream for help, but he covered my mouth. Joe brought me to an abandoned cabin where he tied me to a chair. He said, "There, you'll be mine forever. No one will ever take you away." Before I could scream, he covered my mouth with cloth. Still, I tried my best to cry loudly with the cloth still around me. The man came back with a glass of water. He said, "If you stop screaming, I'll give you this drink." Then I had an idea. Since lipstick came off with liquids, I agreed with him. He pulled the cloth down and served me water. Like I planned, the lipstick came off. It was then he snapped back to his senses. He asked me, "Why are you in my father's cabin tied up?" I replied, "I have no idea. This was your idea." He said, "I must be so high right now, I'll let you go." He untied me and I ran out of there. I took out the lipstick and went to the river. I looked at it once more and threw it in the river. Never again would I use lipstick. Then down near the river, someone picked up the red strawberry lipstick and put it on. So that is all the stories I have for you guys today. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more creepy stories. With that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!